This headline is a chef's kiss. Kevin Feige admits if they don't entertain first, their social messaging will fall on deaf ears. Well, I got news for you, Marvel. Unless you're talking to the smooth-brained hive mind stands in your audience, the social messaging pretty much falls on deaf ears because I don't watch Marvel movies to be told I'm a bad person or women good, men bad, or, you need to do this, you need to do that. I don't. I watch it for escapism and spare me well, there's always been politics in comic books.
And if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book.
Pre-2014, there was a thing called good writing. And good writers know how to use subtlety to work in what they want to get across to their audience. And they do it while still making that thing, that property, that project they're working on entertaining. They don't just beat you over the head and tell you you're a piece of shit and then get mad when you say, I'm not going to spend money on your product anymore, and then call you fill out the litany of names that these idiots use. But anyway, folks, let's get into the video. Let's talk about the article. Here we go. Bounding into comics. Here we are. Kevin Feige admits if Marvel doesn't entertain first, their social messaging will fall on deaf ears. This came out yesterday. John F. Trent, Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige, recently admitted that if the company stops putting entertaining the audience first, then the social messaging is just going to fall on deaf ears. Nobody's going to care. God, he's a doofus. Kevin Feige just looks like a doofus, doesn't he?
Does he look like a bitch?
Feige's admission came during an appearance on the Movie Business podcast with host Jason Squire, who asked him, what is the secret to Marvel Studios' success? As part of his answer, Feige detailed how the company goes through postmortems where they examine what they could have done better after the release of each motion picture or television series. He then detailed, and I guess to distill it down of what lessons are learned, is to entertain the audience at every turn. That's all we want. That's all we ask for, is to be entertained. You're the one that decides, well, look, we need feminism in this. We need woman power. We need girl power.
Work presents Afternoon Yak.
Man.
We need, representation and inclusion over good storytelling. And that's what a lot of these Marvel movies post Endgame have been. And Endgame wasn't even that good of a movie in retrospect. It really wasn't. And it bugs me when people, you just don't like it now because other people said they don't like it. It's like, no. If you watch something enough times and you really start to dissect it and you're not just watching it and you're on your phone and shit like that, you can see how bad something is when you might have had anticipation for it when it released. So you're looking at it through rose-colored glasses. But when you really get down to brass tacks and the meat of things, it's not a very good movie. It's lazily written. And that's something that the Russos should have. So you tell me why you spent even the, 8 to 10 seconds it took to have that stupid girl power moment on the battlefield. And this really bugged me too, because as somebody who really liked Vision and Wanda, seeing those two characters deconstructed and ruined in WandaVision was bad, but not as bad as this. If you'll notice in the girl power scene in the end battle in Endgame, when Okoye runs into battle, some of them squared off with different members of, the Dark Order thing, Thanos' children. And Dark Order, I just call them the Dark Order, is that what they are? I don't know, it doesn't matter, they're garbage. Anyway, they've been ruined, they've all been killed off. Okoye goes right at Corvus Glaive. Now, Corvus Glaive, pretty much whooped Vision's ass twice. And watch how Okoye handles him. This is freaking hilarious. And I don't think I've heard anybody bring this up because it's so quick. It happens so fast. If you don't rewatch the scene and look for little things, you might not have noticed it. Was done in Infinity War organically and done much better to where nobody was like, oh my God, did you see that scene on the battlefield when Black Widow and Okoye and Scarlet Witch fought? In Endgame, it's like they're in the middle of this huge battle, which is taking place over a massive area of land. And all the women seemingly end up in one place in the middle of the battle. Like they just stop fighting and they're like, oh my God, there's girls, there's women over there. The girls are all there. Let's go over there. We have to stand in solidarity with our sisters. It's like,
that is one big pile of shit.
it was the linchpin that started all this rolling downhill, along with the marketing to Captain Marvel, which was piss poor and ridiculous.
Is that like a personal attack or something? Or...
Feige elaborated. Frank Capra has a quote that our co-president Louis D'Esposito quotes often, which is basically to distill it down. Entertain first. You can have as many beautiful messages and beautiful life theories and beautiful thematics that you want to put into the world that all of us do and all of our filmmakers do. But if you're not entertaining first, it will fall on deaf ears.
You don't say.
Telling people they're bad based on their gender, men, which is fine, misandry and Marvel is fine, is not a beautiful life message or some beautiful thematic message. Like, yes, empowering women is good. Misandry is bad, and that's what Marvel seems to hedge their bets on is misandry and their stands to defend it and to defend every other stupid decision they've made.
I like this one.
I think that's always been the way, Feige added. Thankfully, you're making the kind of movies that you love to see and also goes into entertaining yourself, which is what we also try to do here at Marvel Studios. Black Widow. What a shit show that was. I mean, that movie wasn't even good.
I'll have to finish it myself.
What are you going to do?
How long they waited to make her movie. They should have made that movie in 2015 or 16. It should have been out before Captain Marvel. But you know, we got to have somebody who's going to embrace, intersectionalism as opposed to a female who is a bombshell, which is what Scarlett Johansson is compared to Brie Larson. I mean, that's these simps. Like, and I don't want to get caught up on her looks. It's just her personality is so fake. If you sit there and, oh my God, she's so genuine. She's so down to earth. She's me. No. Brie Larson grew up in Hollywood, was raised in groomed for celebrity and to be in this role. That's why everything she does is so fake, because it's literally her moving the pieces around the board. It's not something that was genuinely motivated by. It's like her tribute to Stan Lee that she deleted off Instagram because she got roasted because it was narcissistic. Along with her white allyship, it's sad and pathetic. It's like you can help people without being like, I'm an ally, and if you're against me, you're a bigot. It's like, no, I just think the way that you conduct your business in trying to shame people into things is utterly ridiculous and counterproductive to bringing equality and bringing people together. While Feige admits and claims that the main lesson the company has learned is to entertain the audience at every turn, and if you do so, their social indoctrination efforts will fail. The company's actions over recent years indicate they are much more interesting than pushing their social indoctrination efforts and antagonizing audiences rather than entertaining. She-Hulk attorney law actress Tatiana Maslany admitted to even exist as She-Hulk is like a big F you to the haters. Imagine being so insecure as a showrunner like Jessica Gao, okay? So insecure that the entire premise of your show is to own the haters. So you're taking multi-million-dollar property, right? And you're just self-inserting your own beliefs into it, totally disregarding what the character may have stood for decades before you got a hold of it, and saying, no, I hate men. This is what we're going to do. We're going to make every man in this show stupid, evil, or both. That's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. And here we are. This is why I quit watching She-Hulk after 5 episodes. Like I said, you can be a culture warrior and go out and, I'm fighting the good fight. I'm doing this so you don't have to, blah, 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 and spend your money and make videos about shit that you claim to hate, but still spend money on and support the people who hate you.
What the hell is even that?
Or you can just be indifferent towards it and close your wallet off to it and tell them, you know what? I'm not going to give you my... It's as simple as that. Speaking with Variety, following the conclusion of the show's first season on Disney+, Maslany was asked if she was expecting to face trolls when she signed on to become She-Hulk. She answered, reading the script, it was so true. There was so much resistance to a woman just existing in the space of superheroes.
Just ring your call button and Tommy will come back there and hit you on the head with a tack hammer because you're a retard.
There's literally no resistance to a woman existing in a space of superheroes. There's none. The target audience for comic books back in the day was nerds. Nerds love hot women. Most of the female superheroes, sans Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, are hot women. Well, and She-Hulk because she looks like Fiona. But She-Hulk in the comics was hot. So this is called setting the narrative. And this is what people like Kevin Feige and Marvel do. They set the narrative and then they expect you to just follow along with it and capitulate to their lies and their gaslighting. So the article goes on to say, it's why I also feel it's important. There's such an entitlement to space held by certain people. And to even exist as She-Hulk is like a fuck you. And I love that, she added. Tatiana Maslany is a completely overrated actress. And she's not, okay. So Jessica Walters was a bombshell. Tatiana Maslany looks like, I mean, I could run into her in like Walmart. She's not this like knockout gorgeous. It's just not there. And like I said, I'm not hinging the entire thing on her looks. It's her acting ability too. Where is this acting ability? Is she a product of just being on a certain show and there was really good writing, and then this show exposes her subpar acting and apparently shitty personality as well?
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
And we spoke of this smooth brain earlier. The show's head writer, Jessica Gao, also admitted that she really loves trolling the trollsies. When asked how it felt to predict what trolls would be saying about the show, Gao replied, our writer's room opened 3 years ago. The fact that we were able to predict what the reaction was going to be, what a lot of the trolling comments were going to be, really shows how tired and unoriginal these trolls are. She added, that really tickled me because the little troll that lives inside me really loves trolling the trolls. Again, to reiterate my point, millions of dollars spent, millions and millions of dollars, thousands and thousands and thousands of man hours and effort. The VFX, the overworked and underpaid VFX artists employed by Marvel Disney to make this show. And Jessica Gao, the showrunner, was interested in trolling the trolls because they knew from the word go that this show was going to be terrible. When they announced this and they announced who was involved in it, going back to 2019 when I first started my channel, I did videos about this show and I did videos about Dana Schwartz being in the writer's room. And Dana Schwartz was the brainiac who decided to attack South Park and then got roasted and played victim. And that's all she's ever done is play victim. And she did the same thing here when she got roasted. And I think it was the episode I quit watching, episode 5, that she wrote. I didn't even look at the writing credits when I did my review. I wrote my review for it. And I literally said, this is a Dana Schwartz episode. And sure enough, lo and behold, it was a Dana Schwartz episode. And at that point, I was like, nope, done. This is garbage. And yeah, we got to quit watching this. And I did. I stopped watching it, stopped reviewing it. Not going to give it any time. It's junk. Marvel doesn't want my money. They hate me because of my skin color and my gender or sex, which are the same thing. So yeah, She-Hulk attorney at law and its creators are not the only ones to eschew the idea of entertaining the audience. Thor Love and Thunder director Taika Waititi told audience he planned on ruining their Thor mythos with the film when it was first announced that Natalie Portman would return in the role. Yeah, we have that moment where Taika Waititi walked out on stage and bent the knee to 80-pound Natalie Portman and handed her Thor's hammer, which was plastic. And
yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
It looked like she could barely hold it up. It was bigger than her body. And then they CGI'd her arms because God knows a woman can't hit the gym and gain some muscle for a role, but the guys have to basically take 5 to 10 years off the back end of their life to juice up and get mad like Chris Hemsworth did for the Thor role. But, hey, wham and power, right? Wham and power. That was so pathetic. When I was kind of like happy at first. I'm like, all right, maybe Natalie Portman's going to hit the gym, put on 5-10 pounds and at least look. Nope. All CGI dots, of course. All CGI dots. There's a million stunt women out there that can act that could have played that role. And I know, Jane Foster goes back to Natalie Portman, back to the original Thor. They should have just not done the Jane Foster female Thor storyline. It was garbage. I didn't watch the movie. I refused to watch it. My wife, who loves Thor because Chris Hemsworth, hated Love and Thunder. Hated it. Her and my son both. He didn't even like it. And he's a huge Marvel fan. Hated it. I didn't watch it. And I was like, I'm not going to watch it.
Nope.
A Marvel Comics reader responded to the Marvel Comics writer Jason Aaron, sharing his excitement that the gender swap Thor storyline had injected into the comics would get adapted in the big screen by Waititi. The user wrote, "It is due to your Marvel work that this mess is possible. Your writing ruined Thor, his mythos, and his character. So I do not want to see the film if we are truly getting a Jane Foster Thor." And that was back in 2019. And here's Stupid's response, "I'll ruin your mythos in a minute."
Paging Dr. Dr.
I should go.
That's a good idea, Doctor.
Feige himself has also previously revealed he eschewed the idea of entertaining the audience first in order to push social indoctrination programming when it came to WandaVision. Feige confirmed Doctor Strange was cut from the show, telling Rolling Stone, "We did a video on this." Some people might say, oh, it would have been cool to see Doctor Strange, but it would have taken away from Wanda. Here's Feige's quote, Kevin the Cuck Feige, "We didn't want the end of the show to be commoditized to go to the next movie. Here's the white guy. Let me show you how your power works." That wasn't what we wanted to say, he added. No. He wanted Wanda to lose her shit, control an entire town, be responsible for countless deaths, lock people in their bedrooms, their bathrooms, not let them out, mentally control them, separate families, kidnap and hold hostage an entire town because somebody took away her imaginary kids. And then the Multiverse of Madness movie, I watched about half of that with my wife and kid before I said, you know what, I'm done. Feige would also detail, I haven't talked about this before, but we had this deal with Benedict Cumberbatch to pop up the end of WandaVision or somewhere in WandaVision. But as we worked on the show and on the movie, we realized there was no reason to really do that. You're right, because Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange is a white guy, and heaven forbid, he's the sorcerer supreme. Heaven forbid he should explain anything to Wanda because she's a woman and she automatically knows anything because she has. The Marvel Studios head honcho also revealed the reason the Eternals was moved to the top of their list of films was due to the company's social engineering agenda. And the Eternals, what a dumpster fire. Cast was ridiculous. I really like, I can't think of the actress's name who played the deaf one. I think she's Makari is her name in the movie. Why would they create an Eternal with a flaw? Being deaf is called a handicap, okay? You cannot hear. That is a handicap. Why would they create these perfect beings and make one of them have a handicap? It doesn't make sense. It's so stupid. That was them going like, well, they race and gender swapped the character anyway. While addressing why the company decided to change the races, genders, and sexualities of nearly all the characters, Feige told Variety. Well, the notion of switching up the genders, sexualities, and ethnicities of the characters from the comics was baked in initially. That was part of what Nate Moore was really advocating for in moving Eternals to the top of the list for us to start working on. How'd that work out for you? How much money did you lose? Also, hiring Chloe Zhao, whose main credit was Nomadland, independent film, before she took on Eternals, was a horrible move. Marvel hires directors, creatives that they can control, that they can push, that they can prod, that they can, lord over. That's why you don't see these big name directors going in. Like, I was really shocked Sam Raimi went in and did the Doctor Strange thing, knowing how much of a cuck Kevin Feige is. The results from Marvel Studios eschewing the principle that Feige claims the company has seen its more recent releases suffer at the box office compared to previous films. Black Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings are three of the worst performing Marvel Cinematic Universe films of all time without even factoring in inflation. Of the 30 films the company has released, only The Incredible Hulk and Captain America, the First Avenger, have lower global grosses. Sequel films such as Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Thor Love and Thunder did not perform nearly as well as the previous films in their respective franchises. The Disney Plus shows are also routinely beat by Netflix series in the ratings, and more recent releases perform worse than the initial ones, as seen with She-Hulk Attorney at Law, which should not get a second season. If anyone is to start taking Kevin Feige seriously again, he needs to actually start putting his money where his mouth is and delivering what he's promising, because there's a mountain of evidence that shows Marvel Studios has not learned the lesson that you need to entertain the audience first. Rather, they seem to have learned the opposite. They will push their social messaging at the sake of entertaining the audience. I haven't even watched a trailer for Ant-Man 3 yet because I don't care. I have no intention of going to watch it. I could care less. And that's sad because I really like Paul Rudd. I like the Ant-Man character, but these movies are just shit. And they're going to have to CG, or they did CG Evangeline Lilly's hair. Oh. So there you have it, folks. Acknowledgement of the fact that Marvel is pushing social engineering and indoctrination into their entertainment without providing the entertainment. No, they're just giving us garbage tier product and expecting us to...
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next products.
And people are onto the grift, Feige. That's why the law of diminishing returns has taken hold over at Marvel. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. Sound off in the comments below. It's your turn. Leave those thoughts down there. Smack the like button, subscribe, ding the bell for notifications. You can join as a channel member, $2.99, $4.99 if you want. If not, thank you for supporting us. Please subscribe. I'm Etep Wakui, the place to be reviews. I've been here with all of you. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Self-high five.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
I could do this all.
This doesn't bode well.
You're lying. I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa.
It's a waste of good suffering.